And we are live. All right. Hey, everybody. How's it going? It's been a hot minute. Let me just make sure my audio is working. Second here. Yep, that is working. All right. Well, yeah, it's holiday season, so my whole schedule has been all over the place. Doing a lot of working, both at my job as well as on the new Springfield Trapdoor. Wanted to guys show you some of the progress I did with that. Now that it's, I'm calling it done for at least now. And then I can also show you guys where we're gonna go from here with the development of the game. So let me see. I'm gonna pull this up, and then it's been a hot minute. I gotta figure out all the hotkeys I set up. Is it this one? Well, I better find out. Hopefully that works. Yeah. Okay. So this is, well, let me just quickly zoom to this one. This is the old trapdoor model. Definitely a couple of things you could say about the old one. A lot of bones. So you can see like there was a reference. Okay, that was really stupid. But you have the aim iron sights. For a reason I just put aim sights. I don't know why. But that's its own separate object, right? The barrel was its own separate object. A bunch of other things as well. The old model also did not have a lot of detail, like that was flat. Some of the edges weren't really beveled. Really lower texture quality. It just wasn't, a very, very good looking model. Plus, wasn't very accurate. That's the wrong iron sight. That's not even the right like bayonet. That's just completely wrong. So this whole thing was just kind of a mess. So the new one up here, this has 60,000 triangles, so it's definitely much more detailed model. And you actually can see here on the side, there's only a couple of bones for this. You have the hammer, right? You have the sling, which has a lot more bones to it, and that actually allows it to bend. And I'm going to show how that works. You have the trapdoor. One of the details I actually forgot is that there's actually a second kind of ring, which is this little thing right here. And this actually, oopsies, this prevents the trapdoor, I guess, from going all the way, and also kind of helps kick out spent cartridges out from, I guess you could say, the well where the bullet stays. But yeah, I can then kind of move this up, and you can see this has a lot of detail. Like, I have that kind of like cutout right here where there's that sort of like clipping mechanism. You can see like I had like screws and these little like, I don't even know what this is, sort of like indent. You can actually now look through the barrel. That wasn't something you could do with the old model. And then if let's see, rotate that. There's also some things like, engravings as well. A lot more detail. Like this was like a flat texture before. Now it's actually fully modeled. Even some of these screws are fully modeled as well. Not all the screws are, but a lot. Like for instance, this one's still like kind of like a normal map. So that kind of, it's a 2D texture, but it kind of reflects in such a way that it kind of gives it like this appearance of like a 3D object. Even though it really isn't, but that's more for like a performance thing. But like that was definitely not on the old gun. these sort of like screws on the side. This whole like buttstock kind of thing, I don't know if it's, you can even see it, but there's this sort of kind of like, if I'm not mistaken, there's either like a cleaning rod or something like that that's stored in here. This actually swivels out on the actual gun, and inside is like a cleaning rod and stuff like that. So that's, you know, is really important for a lot of these infantry firearms, and that was just something that wasn't even on the old model, so that's on this one. Of course, the sling as well, that's a new addition. There's a lot more detail here as well, like you can see like with the trigger. It's not just like a simple like Roblox looking kind of shape. It actually has a lot of detail, smooth edges, stuff like that. The iron sight is the correct iron sight. And there are some issues I have with this gun model. I'll get to that in just a minute, but actually something I'm going to do here just to make it a little easier for you guys, make it a wider screen. So but you can see like there's all these engravings on this, you know, on the sides. You have these, you know, like sort of like dials. Go over here, you know, that again, a lot more detail here on the front. Again, tried making the barrel look a little bit easier. Not easier, a little bit nicer. My bad. And this is the big difference. Again, I want to introduce melee combat, and so for especially these like rifles with the Krag, you had this bayonet, right? This sort of like knife that was kind of attached and fixated to like the front of the barrel. The Springfield never really, the Trapdoor never really had that, or at least at this point in its lifespan, it didn't really have that. They kind of gone for this sort of like rod bayonet, since it was just kind of a more lower profile, you know, easier to carry, stuff like that. Wasn't nearly as effective as, of course, that bayonet, but, you know, still, I guess, somewhat useful. But so, yeah, a little detail. So, you know, I even got, like, even the little engravings right around the edge. You can see, like, the edge is actually, like, properly pointy. And there's this sort of, like, oh. Okay. Well, that's not supposed to be there. That's, huh. Okay, I'm gonna have to fix that. Ignore the missing triangle. I'm gonna have to fix that. Man, okay. Where did that come from? Anyway, take a look on this side, I guess. But this is sort of like the thing that allows you to, you know, you press this sort of, I guess, button or grip or whatever, and that actually allows you to kind of slide in this rod bayonet in and out. So yeah, and since we're at it, let me minimize that for a second. I'm gonna show you guys what this looks like with the physics. So hold on. So yeah, there we go. You can see it kind of, it you know, it's dynamic. It's not like an animated thing. If I were to grab this and then like kind of tilt it, you'd see the sling kind of sags a bit. If I kind of move it that way, again, you can see it sags a little bit more. Can put it all the way kind of there. And eventually I can kind of get like this. It does occasionally act kind of weird, like you'll see like it'll kind of go through the rifle itself. I'm not trying to make this like super like performance heavy, so I'm trying to use as few calculations as possible. So things like collision, stuff like that, it's like it's not the most accurate like strap kind of physics, but it's competent enough to a point where I would say it adds a little bit more life, I guess, to the kind of minute-to-minute gameplay. As you're walking around, you'll see this kind of like slosh back and forth. I just think it's kind of it does add a little bit more historical accuracy because again, you have these infantry soldiers, they're walking around with multiple guns. They're not going to be just carrying every single one of them by hand. They're going to be slinging this over their shoulder and walking around with a revolver, like a Colt or something like that. So this is definitely a little bit more historically accurate. So that is the new trapdoor. There is, again, some issues I have with this model. Number one, and you maybe can see it on the front here, it might be really hard to read. That says U.S. Springfield, and that's supposed to be kind of like a bald eagle. It's very, very low res. This is actually, again, like the other two guns I've redesigned. This was really made with the intention of being more performant than the original model, because the original model, if we can even click on it, let me see. Does it? Yeah, you can see like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Like, there's a bunch of materials. And granted, some of these materials are the same, but there's a lot of materials on this thing. And what that means is that you get a lot more draw calls, and that, means it becomes more performance heavy. So even though this has fewer polygons and everything, it actually isn't as performant as this model. This model only has a single material, right? If I were to click on it and click on this, you see it's all in this one single material. And actually, I can maybe even show you. Yeah, you can't really see it because I guess it's kind of tiny. But yeah, it's one single. Actually, hold on. Yeah, everything. So as you can see, again, it's hard to. There we go. That's probably better. So you can see like the whole like wooden base, the barrel itself, the sights, the hammer, all that kind of stuff. It's all baked into a single texture, right? And then I have things like reflections, normal maps, stuff like that. So that means that this whole model actually runs, is less performance heavy. But the problem is, with the Crag, I made this, it's the same thing, but I made it with an 8K resolution texture. And that allows me to really get some nice details. Like you can see like this screw, right? That's like a normal texture. I think somewhere here I have some engravings. I mean, I know I have engravings on here. You can see like really fine kind of details. Pretty sure somewhere else. Yeah, here. You guys should see like it says U.S. Springfield Armory on there. It's kind of faint. Model 1898. So a lot of detail. But then you look at this one, and unfortunately, yeah, there's some detail. Like you can of course see that there is some engravings here, but they're kind of illegible. They're not really that really hard to read. This one you can maybe read. It says U.S. model 1889. 1889. Yeah, sorry. So same numbers but different orientation. Yeah, 1889. So and this one, there's actually supposed to be some text right here. You can't even read it at all. You can just barely make out anything there. So, and like even like the grip texture here on the hammer, it's very faint. Like I don't even know if that's even going to show on YouTube and Twitch. So, and again, the problem is with this model, I had to make it as a 4K texture, and that meant that it was really hard to kind of squeeze much detail. I wanted to do an 8K texture with this. My computer just couldn't handle it. It was already struggling with that Crag, and then when it was with this model, it just flat out refused. I actually had to restart my computer Because it, like, after like an hour of it just trying to bake the textures, it just gave up. I was like, okay, that's like, it just froze and just wouldn't respond at all. So and that kind of segues, I guess, to the next point. I mentioned, actually, I think it was on Friday, that I have actually been able to save up enough money to get a new computer. That's happening this Wednesday, and I'm going to be spending like the next like week or so following after that, basically transferring all my data, my personal stuff, as well as, of course, everything from Unsung Heroes, and moving that to the new computer. And the new computer is much, much more performant. There's, SSDs I can now leverage instead of using a hard disk drive. I got double the amount of RAM. I got a much more newer graphics card. I have a 1060 right now. The new one has a 5070, right? It's, significant. It's a significant enough upgrade, right? Better processor, better, pretty much everything. So, my hope is that while this gun, I wasn't able to get all the kind of details in right now, some point in the future, probably way after launch, the early access launch, I might come back to this model, maybe redo some of the texturing. Another thing I forgot to mention, and it's very, very hard to see if it will even show up on YouTube, but you can see there's a slight crease right there. And that was not even the texturing issues. That was just Blender being weird. Usually I try to like blend the textures together so this kind of is invisible. You can't really see it. It just didn't work for whatever reason this time. I got no idea why. So, but again, I'll be honest with you. Like, you're going to be playing usually from the perspective of like this. You can't see that. And even when you're aiming, like, say you're trying to aim down sights, let me line that up. Something like, wow. Yeah, let's go with that. Like something like this, like you're not going to be able to see the crease really that much. So for me, even though there's some issues I do have with this model, that I wasn't able to really perfect exactly the way I wanted. I think this is probably going to do just fine for now. But some point in the future, I might try to come back to this model and try to maybe fix some of the things. But again, I've been working on this for now like 5 months, and I really need to kind of get a move on with things. I can quickly, I guess, show some of the progress kind of moving forward. Let's see. Put up my background for a second. Okay, and bada bing, bada boom. If that'll even show it. Yeah, okay. So this is again that roadmap. So you can see that this, which I originally was expecting to do in like a month, yeah, we're now past the halfway point, I guess, but it's just gonna take so long. And frankly, I'm getting kind of tired of 3D modeling firearms. It's just getting a little tired. I gotta kind of focus on something else for a bit. So my plan is, and I've already started it, I'm right now working on a video script. I want to make, before the end of the year, another game dev video on YouTube, kind of like what I did back in April, that kind of like 10-minute long kind of video, kind of going in depth about the whole development process and all that kind of stuff. So I'm already working on that. Hopefully I can get it done before the end of the year. And that'll be just basically going over these three weapons, me kind of redeveloping it, redesigning it, remodeling it, all that kind of stuff. But in the meantime, again, in addition to transferring all the stuff to the new computer, and what we're going to be working on today is this. This actually is probably one of my better, I guess, sprints that I'm making some progress on. These like different like game modes. Last time we actually live streamed, we actually modified the battle management system. We're able to make sort of like a team agnostic system where before it was kind of written specifically for people like if you were playing as the American side, but now it's kind of agnostic in that whether you're playing as the Spanish side or the American side, there's the different like win and lose states now. So that's going to be kind of useful when eventually I do actually code in the ability to play as the Spanish. You'll still be able to kind of play the game with the same kind of goals and win and lose states as you could before. So something I want to kind of work on today, it's going to be kind of more, I guess, a little superficial. We're going to be doing mostly UI stuff, which I think is kind of relaxing. It's not really too much hard thinking involved, which I need because my brain is completely fried. But yeah, just kind of working on like modifiers for the battles, stuff like that. So reasonably, I actually don't think this is going to take long to actually get all of these done. We've pretty much got half of these either in progress or completed, and the other half is, not going to take too much longer. So, although something like this, like that, that's going to require new infantry models. That's something I can probably talk about for a different stream, because I have some changes I'm going to be doing. I thought I was going to be using DAZ to make my human models. But if you saw, I think like almost 2 months ago when I used DAZ, I had some struggles with it. And it turns out it's a lot more limiting than I kind of originally thought it would be. So I do have a solution kind of workaround that I'm going to be using instead. But until then, like some of these things like that require those new infantry models, that's going to have to kind of wait. But all this other stuff, I mean, that's pretty doable. So, yeah. I guess we can kind of get a little bit right into it. Let me get back into the background because it's going to take a minute. I'm going to have to load up the main menu scene. But, yeah. It's a lot of stuff. Me personally, I'm really excited for that new computer. It's I think it's gonna really kind of speed things up for me. Again, I'm right now rocking a 1060, 16 gigabytes of RAM, which it's definitely not really the most optimal thing for game development. At least not really much anymore. So there you go. It's loading for a second. Oh, there we go. That was actually kind of fast. Let's see. Oh, man. I spoke too soon. All right, there we go. Where is the... Oh, God. It's bright as hell. There we go. I don't even know why I'm doing this because all we need is just the UI. Let's see, canvas. Yeah. And we need to just disable that for a second. Okay. Disable that and disable that. Actually, I'm going to write it down because I don't want to forget. So let's see, settings menu, and because Unfortunately, some of these menus, they have to actually be enabled from start. Otherwise, the code just kind of breaks. So I just got to make sure settings fade to black. And the intro text. Perfect. Okay. Awesome. Can disable that. And we can now actually finally do some more fun things. So, we go instant action menu. This is what we're looking for. So, what we need to do. So, we need modifiers, and we need the ability for players to choose between different battle strategies. So hopping back in, we do have the ability to change map and change mode, though right now the mode is basically just one single mode, so it doesn't really do anything. There is a battle strategy button, doesn't do anything. But then modifiers, there's not actually a button for that, so we're going to make that right now. And something I think we're actually going to probably be doing is making these buttons a little bit smaller. Because if I were to open this up in game format, ooh, that is laggy. Yeah. It's not highlighting or anything, but you can see that, like, if I were to like scale this up, so it's, yeah, times 1, you can see these buttons are huge, right? It's almost like mobile buttons, like for like a mobile phone game. So we're gonna make these buttons a little bit smaller. So let's see. So title. Yeah, it's title. I do still kind of want this split though. This split's kind of nice to have. But yeah, we're going to make it so like 15, and the max size is probably going to be, oopsies, maybe like 60. Or 50 maybe. Screw it, 55. I can't decide. Yeah, it's better. And then we can put that right in the middle. And okay, so main button group. So all of these need to be made way smaller. So like probably like 40. Oh, jeez. 35. How's that? Yeah, that'll do. All right, 35. That's fine. So what I'm doing right here is, again, changing the text size. You can see that what I have, because I understand that people are going to be playing with different resolutions, this is actually like an auto size, so it actually will change based on the size of the screen. So what I'm really trying to set right now is basically the max size for these buttons. The min size, I mean, I can like do that, and then I could do like 20, and you can see how tiny that is. Realistically speaking, I don't think anybody's gonna be having UI smaller than that, and anything smaller. And I noticed that Unity has kind of a hard time rendering some of this UI stuff. You get like weird kind of artifacting that it happens. So, yeah, definitely I'm not really eager to have that kind of be a thing. So I think this will be fine, yeah. And then we got, of course, got to do the fight button. Where's that? There we go. Change that to 35. Okay, sweet, awesome. And now we just make these buttons really tiny. Oh. Okay. I just realized. So I can scale it this way, but I can't actually scale it vertically because we actually have this thing. This actually auto sizes. Let's see. Yeah, control child size. It controls the height of it. So we, in order to actually do changing of the height, what we're going to actually do is this. Take the battle strategy, duplicate that. There we go. Now that's better. And then we're going to rename this battle modifiers button. Did I spell it right? Sorry, my brain is fried. Yes, IE. Thank you. Awesome. Okay, and then in here we'll just do battle modifiers. Okay. And I think we can make it a little smaller. Hold on. Oh yeah, that's left. Okay, right. Can we do like 50? Oh, geez. No, that's not it. How did I do this? Preferred width. What the hell? Huh. Preferred height. Oh. Oh, geez. 30, 50, 70, 80. Honestly, 100's fine. Oh, it only could do 70. Or not. I don't know. What the hell? Huh. Okay. Oh. Okay, that 100, 100, 100, and 100. Okay. So how do I make this thing smaller? Dang. Okay. Geez, I don't even know. 100 and 150. So what, man, that's confusing. Huh. That's really confusing. Okay. Yeah, why is it like that? That is, I just want to make this smaller, but then like push it over more that way. Yeah. Okay. Screw it. We'll do preferred width, and we'll say it's like 450. Okay. That. Okay. 450 and then just to make sure that this is also nice looking, we'll do that's 450 as well. 450 and is there some spacing I have here? Yeah. Should be like a, yeah. But not quite. 10, 20, 30, 40. What the hell? Yeah, that's, dang. That doesn't even really make any sense. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah. Is there like a ignore layout? Ugh. Damn. Okay. What I would like to do is have basically these be like one on this side and then one on this side, but for whatever reason, not getting that option. But honestly, I think that might be fine. It's not like, okay, 50. All right, let's see how this looks. So you actually can see, so that's what it looks like at 1080p. If we go to 4K, yeah, looks all right. Oh, that cheese. That looks terrible. Okay. Yeah, definitely the vertical scaling needs some work. Ugh. That's terrible. That's ugly as sin. That looks fine. That don't look fine. Okay. but I think that scales fine. It's really just the bottom part doesn't really scale well. Okay. And let's see what else. On the opposite side, yeah, okay. So the fight button. So once again, this is gonna be 450. Oh. Oh, the height is 70. Okay. Not sure. I'm a fan of that. I think we might just keep it the same width. But then see if that's at least aligned correctly. And it doesn't really seem like that's the case. Yeah, it's not. Okay. Yeah. It's a bit better. Okay. Yeah. Not too bad. Okay. And then, just so that we can fix that bottom, because that bottom is terrible. What? No. Down. Down center. And stretch that. And that should actually fix, hopefully, the weird, yeah. For the most part, it fixes it. Yeah, maybe a little bit further up, though. How about that? Honestly, this is pretty much UI design in a nutshell. It's just kind of just fiddling around until something kind of looks good. It's not really much of a science to it. Let's just do this. Yeah, we can snap to that. Yeah. Hundred. Um, yeah. Okay, that looks good. It's the title. Bada bing, bada boom. So that side, let's just move that to there. Ooh, yeah, it's ugly. Okay. Team preview, we'll just move down until it snaps. And then that, we'll move down until that snaps. And the fight button. Move it there, and then perfect. And that should look good. So that's what it looks like. Sort of scaled to my monitor. That's kind of the full thing. And then that is not the same. Oh. No. Okay. Yeah, that one's kind of stupid, I'm going to be honest. But that one actually doesn't look terrible. I mean, it doesn't look great, but again, I don't know how many people are going to be playing at 1640, 480 in this day and age. That just seems kind of ridiculous. Something seems kind of off. I do think that maybe we should maybe move that a little closer to the center. I don't know. Something kind of feels a little off about that. But you know what? It's fine. I think I'm gonna leave it for right now. Okay, let's get going on. Let's see, where was it? So battle modifiers button. So. Do these not do it? Huh. Okay. Bear with me for a moment. I'm going to go pull up the code for this. Oh, it's going to take a minute. See, menu scripts. Main menu? Yeah, that's it. Okay. Load. In the meantime, let me check, see if anybody... Yep. Come on. See, even Visual Studio takes forever to open up. Yeah. There you go. Okay. Give it a second to load. Breathe. That's actually, I didn't even open up the script. Come on, main menu. Please open. No and no. Okay, sweet, awesome. So let me finally bring back the capture. Okay, and now what I gotta do is find wherever the hell. So these do literally nothing. That opens up a tab. Mode? Okay, the mode actually, okay, opens up. Okay, I see. Opens up tabs 6 and then 7. Oh yeah, geez. Pop, map select, mode select. Right. Okay. So what we want is we're gonna just actually no, not this. Hold on. Delete that for a second. I think for the modifiers, we'll have which one? Map select. No, mode select. Yeah. Okay. Disable that. Turn this on. All right. So we can change. This is going to be pop. Pop, by the way, just means it's just short for pop-up. So this is like a pop-up menu. So we want this to be a pop-up. Battle modifiers menu. Okay. And the thing is, so every game mode is going to have their own battle modifiers. So that means that this is going to have to be kind of like dynamically populated. So what I'm thinking is maybe we could just do like a series of drop downs and then just kind of just populate that, I guess. Yeah. Okay. I think that's going to work. So let's just change the title. This is going to be and again, we'll try to keep it the same as this. So the title here was 55 and not 15, 20. So here we'll do the same. It's going to be 55. Okay, and we'll center that. Go here for a second. Height 92. Okay. Oh, it's the same. Awesome. Right. I don't think we're going to need to scroll. But again, what we need is basically for this to be dynamically populated. So how it's going to work, I've done this before. The mod manager, how it works is it has this sort of view thing. And then I have these prefabs that represent each like individual item, right? And I can kind of populate the entries and set them up with whatever mod they're supposed to be connected with. But in here, I could just have like a prefab of like different options and then set that. So let's just get rid of this whole thing. Just bam. No. Really? That gets rid of the title too. Title's here. Oh, I see. It moved it way down there. Okay. Well, in that case, so we're gonna basically tear this thing apart anyway. We'll just get rid of both of those. Bye-bye. Okay. And I'll be honest, the preview isn't really necessary. But we can definitely have this be put kind of in the center. So we'll actually do that. We'll do vertical layout and put this middle center like that. And this is going to be explanation. The sleep deprivation is kicking in. Hold on. Spell X. Thank you. It's 2 A's. Ah. Okay. Yeah. Explanation. Description. Okay. Group. Okay. Additional text preview and then text. Okay. Excellent. So in here, this is going to be a main button group. So let's create, and this is going to be the prefab. So this, we're just going to call this battle modifier prefab 1, type 1. Okay. And I think I wrote it down somewhere, like what kind of modifiers I was even thinking of. I kind of look at it, it's kind of buried. Okay. So we do not want to control the height. That's stupid. But we do want to control the width. So ideally, we want this thing to be probably, what was it here? This was 100 was the preferred height. So this is going to be a layout element, and we want this to have a preferred height of 100. Not entirely sure why it does that, but okay. And then in here, it's basically going to be two things. So we're going to have text. Hang on. That ain't Text Miss Pro. That is. Huh? Okay. Whatever. Modifier name. Change that to electrolytes. That's the font that we use now, and we will rewrite that as modifier name. And then what is a horizontal layout? Yep. Perfect. Control the height. Add about. We'll go with like a, left's gonna be fine, but do like a 10 by 10. That literally does nothing. Hold on. Huh? Huh? Alright, fine. Control the... Oh, it does do the height. What? What? War? War? Why is that not working? Huh? Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, okay, I see. I get it. We want this to be auto-sized 20, and then lowest is going to be 35. So right now it's 33. Okay, in that case you might be able to do... No, screw it. Let's get rid of that. Just do that. Perfect. Awesome. So, yeah, the modifier name, we're going to just kind of stretch that out there. And then we need a drop down. Drop down. In all honesty, this looks really hideous. Well, first off, let me delete that. Somewhere here I have like proper looking drop downs. I think in the settings menu. Video tab. Yeah, we're going to have a ton of these here. Copy. And paste it. Yeah. Maybe. Maybe. We only just need that. Delete. Okay. 450 and 450. Oh, perfect. That's actually the perfect size. Okay, yeah. Awesome. So I should be able to like yeah, it scales for the most part. The only thing I would really say is maybe change this. Or maybe even change this. Yeah, let's just do this. We'll do 445 and then 445 and then just have 10 units of spacing in between. Yeah. Awesome. And again, we don't need this. We do want that, though. We do want a click sound effect. Excuse-moi. Okay. Yeah. And that works. That's going to be modifier type 1, and then I guess for type 2, we'll have just like a toggle. I'll get rid of that. And then let's go back to the settings for just a second. Copy. Paste into there. And you're done. 445. Perfect. And done. And that just makes a click sound effect. Yep. Awesome. Okay. And so the idea is with this, right, we have all of these. The hell? What? Huh? Huh? Really? How big is this? What the, that is 960. Okay. And I'll just put that at the bottom like that. Okay. So we go into here, we do maximize. This looks kind of ugly for a minute. Let's just change that. So spacing, we want probably 5 units of separation. Go with 5. And now say we were to duplicate, 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 duplicate. And then actually what we want to do is just, let's just do upper center. Yeah. Okay. So realistically, we can fit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 modifiers. It's not the let's see. If we just did 2.5. Can we fit one more? Yeah, just barely. And then let's go 50. Oh yeah, I'm already getting kind of tired. Title. I would select. So let's move that. Let's see. This is 960. Yeah. Okay. So we want this to be. Oh, that already is. Huh. Oh. Yeah, that's close enough. Okay. Just making sure that's exactly straight. It's not really, but it's good enough. Okay. With these drop downs, I do need them to be the correct. Hold on a second. Before I actually do that. So this thing now stretches down to there, so I should be able to fit one more of these, right? Kinda. Ah, you're really dragging me. Screw it, I'll just make it just 2. That still isn't enough. I bet it's good enough for what I need, but yeah, okay. Well, we could do that. I think that's fine. That's gonna maybe shrink it a little just to kind of get it to fit, but we can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 modifiers, I think, is more than plenty. Because I think I wrote it somewhere, and I can actually check. Hold on a second, guys. So go back to the background for a second. I think I wrote somewhere here. Is it here? Well, that sucks. I wrote it here somewhere. And for the life of me, I just cannot find it. Okay, whatever. Point is, if I were to go back, hold on a second, guys. I swear I wrote it down somewhere, but for most of the modifiers, you're gonna have something like, is there like a time limit? Is there respawning? If there is a time limit, what is that time limit? If there's a point, like if it's like a point system that you're trying to go for rather than just kills, what's like the target, like a goal for how many points you want to earn, stuff like that. So in all honesty, I think 8's probably going to be fine. As like a max, I don't think we're going to ever use more than 8. So, but okay. And the idea is, if I delete that, I'll just bring it back to 2, although, yeah, see, that's why I don't like, damn it. Yeah. Ah, shoot. Okay. Yeah, that's what I don't like about this. Whoopsies. Control height, yeah. Because we want to keep these to be like a set height, like no more than 100. Yeah. So we'll just keep it like, hey, no more than like 7. I think it's probably going to be just fine. So, okay. We have that. One thing I do want to do is I want to add a slight gradient. We'll actually add a button. Normal is going to have nothing. And then we'll just make it like a slight, like a black, and then we'll make it slightly visible, like 60. Sure. And then we'll copy that. We'll paste that. Copy, paste, paste. Done. And then none. Awesome. And then we'll just do the same for this as well. We'll have a button. I think I wrote that. Yeah, okay. Paste. Oopsies. And paste. And then here. And copy. Paste. Paste. Okay. Now, before I actually do anything else, because we're going to have to wrap this up pretty soon, let's get another button. Copy. Paste. And put that there. Okay. We do not need that. We do not need that. We are going to need something else, though. And then that is how wide? 760. Why is it 760? Huh. See, instant action, preview. So this 800? Yeah, it was. Dang, okay. In that case, let's... The problem is that you're not going to need a huge description, so I don't even know what's even... No, we're not. We're you know, we're just gonna... Hold on. Where is it? 768. You're now going to be 768 as well. Okay. And this, I still want it to be center, and don't expand the width, but do space it like 50. Awesome. What is that? Okay. Beautiful. And then don't name that fire button. This is going to be just accept modifiers button. Accept fires. Okay. And so what this should do is, if I go into, let's see, if we go to that mode select and we look at accept button. There we go. So we have open tabs 5, and yeah, that's pretty much exactly what we want as well. So paste the open tabs 5. All right. Okay. And then in, where is it, canvas? So we have our tab list. Mod manager. So we're just going to add that guy there. And then disable that. Go into, where is it? Instant action. And where is it? Battle modifiers. Bada bing, bada boom. Copy, paste. Open tabs. Yeah, okay. And that was, I think, 15, right? Yeah. 15. Modifiers. 15. Awesome. Okay. Save that. And we should, okay, we got to turn this on, turn that on, turn that on. Okay, close, close, save, save, save project. All right. Press play. Does this work? Please work. Oh god, it's laggy as hell. Alright. Single player. Okay. Modifiers. What is that? So unassigned reference. Is that something I have to do here? I have just also realized that again. This is me being extremely tired. On the live stream, it says I have the duck cam. Oopsies, just hit the microphone. I have the duck cam on, and I didn't turn it on yet. Yippee! Oh well. Oh well, that's for next time. I guess I'm gonna fix that. Yeah, I can't even find it. What the hell? Header selector list. Okay, that's not it. Bottom control. Instant action map select UI list. Okay. I think my brain is too fried to figure this one out. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, I don't think I could figure this out. I think we're gonna have to call it here because my brain is legit like tired right now. But it's something, I guess. The idea is in the future, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make, again, kind of like what I have with the mod manager. I just have basically this empty scroll view with nothing in it. And then I have prefabs. Let's see, where is it? UI prefabs, yeah. And in this case, yeah, for the mods, it's this like language mod prefab. Actually, I have the for the map select as well. I didn't even realize that. So that's kind of the same principle. I'm just going to be making these into prefabs and then just kind of spawning them in. That'll be the modifiers kind of set up. So, but okay, I'm really tired, so I think I'm gonna probably call it here. So if anybody did join, thanks for watching. My apologies for I only just realized like 10 minutes ago that my avatar wasn't even showing up. That's brilliant. I didn't even change the title. That's awesome. So yeah, I'm gonna fix that next time. But this might be the last time I am on this computer live streaming. We'll see. I don't know. It's not definite, but again, should be getting my new computer this week. Should kind of make things a little bit easier moving forward. Also, again, as I said, there's going to be a new kind of big 10-minute long, highly edited, highly, I don't want to say well done, pat myself on the back prematurely, but it's going to be a much more higher effort and higher quality content. Again, like kind of that video I was making back in April, same kind of thing. That's going to be happening hopefully pretty soon as well. So, but in the meantime, yeah, Trapdoor is done. Game modes, it's happening. And at some point we're going to get the new avatars, like as in like the infantry models and stuff like that. And that checklist will start slowly kind of getting filled up, getting crossed off. So we're making progress. So, but anyway, thanks everybody for watching. Again, I don't really have any schedule for when my next live stream is going to be, but I'll make sure that if I do have another one anytime soon, I'll make sure to keep you all posted. So, alrighty then. Thanks, guys.